Good morning. Let us commence with our contemplative day in stillness and silence. For those who are new to the monthly micro recollection we are hosting, we undertake meditation twice, both mindfulness of breath and Christian meditation. Mindfulness of breath is simply used to set us up into a calm state in order to pray without ceasing and in full attention to God. We will go through how to meditate, and then right after meditation, we will now listen to Mayang Pascual, who is our inspirational speaker for the day. And Mayang has something very, very precious to share. And then we go back into meditation once more and a little prayer. So let's begin.
Will you let me be your servant? Let me be as Christ to you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant too. We are pilgrims on a journey, fellow travelers on the road. We are here to help each other walk the mile and bear the road. I will hold the Christ light for you in the night time of your fear. I will hold my hand out to you, speak the peace you long to hear.
A reading taken from the first book of John, chapter 3, verse 1. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God. And that is what we are.
A reading from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 to 8. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away.
Makalangit na Ama, buksan mo po ang aming mga puso sa isang katahimikan kasama ang Espiritu ng inyong anak. Pangunahan mo kami sa isang di malirip na katahimikan kung saan ang inyong pagmamahal ay pinahahayag sa mga tumatawag ng Maranatha. Halina, Jesus.
Take a couple of seconds to sit upright, feet flat on the floor, hands on your lap, eyes gently closed. Now bring your awareness to the way your body is in touch with the chair. Just be aware. Adjust if needed. Make sure the back is straight, upright. Bring your awareness to the breath of life that you are inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, you know you are inhaling. Exhaling, you know you are exhaling. In, out. Now follow the breath of life with a grateful heart as you bring in the breath through your nostrils, throat, filling your lungs and your stomach. And contracting your stomach, you exhale, emptying your lungs out to your throat and through your nostrils. Following your own breath of life makes you feel calmer, more at ease. Following your breath of life brings you to the present moment. It's a wonderful moment because our God is a God of presence. Deep snow, calming, smile relief, present moment, wonderful moment. sound of the third bell, begin to pray. Ma, ra, na, tha. Pray Maranatha syllabically, interiorly, silently, and listen to it. Pray Maranatha repeatedly from start to end of the session. Do not think about what it means. Simply meditate, bringing yourself into the stillness and silence so needed so you can truly be in the presence of God, leaving the self behind, leaving all thoughts, all feelings, letting go of all. Ma, ra, na, tha. Come, Lord Jesus.
Love can be as simple as spending time and giving undivided attention to the one love. A mother of 5 exceptional children, all of whom having exceptional needs, our speaker for today, Maria Elvira Season Pascual, or simply Mayang Pascual, testifies to this statement. She holds several degrees, including a master's in child and family studies and a PhD ABD, along with numerous corporate posts. But on top of all this, she wears motherhood as her highest badge of honor. Mayang takes inspiration from Father Lawrence Freeman's statement that loving by giving attention becomes as natural as breathing when practiced frequently enough. She used the pandemic time to bond with her children, especially her 21-year-old Ruel, who has infantile autism. Together, Mayang and Ruel explored art journaling, which made them grow closer to each other and rewarded both of them with beautiful art pieces, which they donated to Boundless Possibility, a which empower adult children with neurodevelopmental disabilities and their parents. And Yang also meets regularly with a small group for more than 20 years now to pray the Holy Rosary and reflect on Mother Mary's messages through priests and the laity. Today, we'll listen to this amazing woman who has raised 5 exceptional children, not just with her impressive academic qualifications on the subject, yes, but more so with her loving heart as a mother.
Thank you, Aimee, for your kind introduction. Good morning, brothers and sisters in Christ. Praise be Jesus and Mary. I'd like to start by sharing that a few months before I turned 40, I told my husband, Ruben, on a car ride home that I wouldn't mind having another child, since Bolo, my 4th child, was already 4 years old, and he is about to enter preschool in a year. So I opened my heart to that possibility. And perhaps God heard my heart's desire, because soon after, I gave birth to my 5th child, Ruel Emilio, at age 41 on January 10, 2000. So that's me with Bolo and my newborn son, Ayo. He's called Ayo, his childhood nickname. So fast forward, I recall how Ayo would ask me to draw animals on scratch paper as a child. I would gladly oblige to encourage him to ask for things and to talk some more. You see, at 3 years old, he still couldn't utter a distinct word. And we thought that he was just a late bloomer, being a boy and all that. But no words came. And so at 3.5, he was my quiet toddler who became more interested in clicking the camera of my cell phone as he grew older, rather than telling me to make stick figures on paper. Oh, well, not telling me, but, moving my hands so that I can pick pencil and put it on paper, because he can't talk. So it was at this time when we brought him to a developmental pediatrician and confirmed that Ayo has PDD-NOS, or what they call pervasive developmental disability not otherwise specified. And as he grew older, it became more apparent that he is within the autism spectrum disorder under the larger description of those with neurodevelopmental disability or NDD. So let me get back a bit by sharing that I meditated way back in the 1980s during my final year at college and with Ananda Marga. It was short lived though, because I couldn't get why meditating was so simple and yet so difficult to keep still and to silence my internal dialogues. I started seriously meditating under the World Community for Christian Meditation in 1994. Haba, no? Ng pahinga. But, it was when my family returned from an 8-year stint abroad. So my meditation practice in 1994, when I first met Father Lawrence Freeman, and that was after 4 or 5 years, it became irregular. And eventually, I stopped because I was juggling so many balls in the air, like taking care of a growing family, studying for a PhD, working as a financial advisor, aside from the other social obligations we have. It was in 2000 when I started to become disillusioned with my meditation, as I felt nothing was happening. I had certain expectations back then, when in fact I was told not to expect anything. In other words, nagtampo ako sa Diyos. I stopped meditating altogether. Now that's Ruben with Ruel, or Ayo pa rin, no? In Baguio when he was a preschooler. So looking back, I realized that during that period when I wasn't meditating, up to 2013, when I started meditating again, I was slowly distancing myself from Ayo. I was tired of having to deal with my child's affliction. And because I was fatigued, I left the caring to my yaya and pretty much distracted myself with work and school, telling myself that I already set him up pretty well with a structure and a routine, so that it didn't involve me spending much time and attention to care for his daily needs. Other people did that for me, like a shadow teacher during school hours, a tutor after school, and a yaya who took care of the in between. I failed to maximize his potential at that stage, honestly, because I wasn't a hands on mom. And so I lost a lot of opportunities in making a difference in his young life. So that's Yaya Annalie, who took care of him since he was 4 months old. Mas malaki na sa kanya, no? So, but thanks to JM's persistent invitation to return to the practice, I rediscovered my yearning to be still, silent, and to simplify my life by grounding myself once more with the prayer of the heart. This was very timely because it helped me to refocus on what really mattered, what was really important, especially in reconnecting with my youngest, who has a profound disability. And that's Ruel, proudly showing off his first artwork on their online art journaling class. So, you know, it took Ruel, now that he's, a teenager, we call him Ruel, many years before he could confidently identify colors, let alone make sense of numbers and the alphabet. He would just keep on guessing the names of each color and put two and two together until everything seems to have clicked at one point. Now he can identify colors that most of us don't even know, like cerulean, indigo, ochre, dandelion, sienna. Oh, alam ba ninyo yan? I didn't know that. So he can also do simple addition and subtraction and can sight read. He can also play the piano and the electronic organ by reading notes using the alphabet. Thanks to the talented homeroom teachers, si Ruth Castillo and si Dominic Robledo, who patiently tutored him. A few years ago, I uncovered a bucket list I had written in 2014. I had expressed a yearning for Ruel to be enrolled in an art program with me. And I daydreamed about exhibiting our collaborative work along with other children who have neurodevelopmental disabilities like him. Well, little did I know that it would take the COVID-19 pandemic to tick this off in my wish list. An answered prayer amidst all the sufferings and countless lives lost. Now that's Ruel with his coach Shanna and the other friends of his in Boundless Possibilities Foundation, doing exercises in UP Oval, the Academic Oval, and running afterwards. So you could imagine that now that we were quarantined and bereft of the critical routines like exercising outdoors that ground children with autism, I was growing anxious trying to create a daily rhythm for Ruel. During one of my video chats with parents who also have NDD children, we came up with the idea to have those who have aged out of school to come together and do activities online to keep them busy during this pandemic. Hence, the online art journaling program that was born. And thanks to our artist teacher, Amos Manglangit, that this art journaling program has been going on for almost 2 years now. So, along with Ruel's friends in the NDD Foundation called Boundless Possibilities, these art lessons kept them busy and happy during these trying times. So, you could see Ruel coloring a drawing of rainy days and Mondays, but you could also see in his arms, in his wrist, and his fingers, and some markings of his bites. You see, Eos having frequent tantrums, biting his fingers, his palm, his wrists, and hitting himself, even inflicting pain on me and the other family members. Whenever he was upset by thwarted intentions or he couldn't communicate. So, because of this inability to communicate his needs and wants verbally, he is easily agitated and frustrated by circumstances he cannot control, nor he cannot have a say on. And this is further aggravated by his awkward social behavior and cognitive delays because of his inability to communicate well. The situation worsened with the pandemic when he could no longer go to his training center, we could no longer jog with him at the UP Oval, and could not have the functional academics he had with his homeschool teachers. So that was Ruel. You could see cleaning, I think, the oven in Royal Canine, nandiyan pa, or a veterinary clinic, and together with his co-trainees. So having a structured life is so important for persons with infantile autism like Ruel, who need constant supervision and care. For him, not knowing what to expect and what to do next is like inviting a major volcanic eruption to ensue. Any small thing, such as putting in the wrong color on the paper or not playing the right notes on the piano, can trigger a massive meltdown. Oh, that's him now showing his gentle giant friends having a Zoom party during the art class. So, as you can see, I was desperate to fill his days, not just with mundane things like fixing his room and watering the plants or peeling garlic and chopping veggies in the kitchen, but with fun activities like learning to bring to life images and colors on paper on his own. It was crucial for him to socialize with friends, even if just to say hello and goodbye online. Moreover, I discovered that this journey through art is strewn with challenges and upsets. As the days wore on, he would refuse to draw and would leave me to lightly pencil in the figures in the hope that he would be enticed to trace them with a pencil pen and fill them in with color. So you could see there's a whole book of mandalas that he colored. He really, really enjoyed doing that. There were days when he would miss out on the sessions because of moodiness, because of oversleeping, or simply to escape me to listen to Spotify. So I am left with holding the pen or the crayon, so to speak. There was a time he preferred to finish one whole coloring book of mandalas rather than attend the online sessions. We had a lot of unfinished work, and it took us several days to submit even one. There were times, too, when we happily collaborated and proudly posted our finished work. When Ruel smiled or laughed or whispered some sort of mantra under his breath while doing his art, that was when I felt that everything was well with the world. I could imagine our art angels hovering around the room and gracing us with their quiet and reassuring presence. Now, I'd like to share with you what Sean McNiff, author of Art Heals, How Creativity Heals the Soul, in his book. And he wrote, art adapts to every conceivable problem and lends its transformative, insightful, and experience heightening power to people in need. If we can liberate the creative process in our lives, it will always find a way, whatever needs attention and transformation. As healers in our own families, we need to keep healing ourselves and to stay immersed with the medicines we want to bring others. And I'd like to share that in one session with the Boundless Possibilities parents, that's Kathy Cham assisting my son. Kathy Cham is the mother of Vico Cham, and he's been known to internationally present his artworks and nationally as well. So you could see that it has been transformed into mugs. The final mug still needing some colors in between. Yes. So I realized that the medicine, quote unquote, was just by being there beside Ruel, quietly attending to him as he worked on his art. I only needed to hold the space for him to concentrate on what is at hand. I noticed his facial expressions and tuned into his nonverbal cues, so much so that I could even anticipate an impending meltdown. And before it happens, I would invite him to relax in a calm voice, massage his hands, and rub his back, telling him to breathe in and out, in and out. It was during these times when I learned how to be more Ruel centered, and I became less Mayang centered. Yes, much like in meditation, where I let go of my ego. I let go of myself, my thoughts, my feelings, and focus on just silently saying, Maranatha, disposing myself to God and giving my undivided attention to Him. In his writing, Lawrence Freeman asserted in Grace at Work that attention is love. When we are doing what we are doing in meditation is loving. It may not feel like it emotionally at that time, but we are loving. And the effects of this work of attention in meditation periods will be translated into our lives in the form of love. You basically become more loving people, capable of receiving love. Love is a two-way street, giving and receiving. And as we always say in WCCM, meditation is simple, but not easy. It is definitely not easy to work with Ruel on his projects, sometimes way into the night. I would coax him to choose his own colors and draw the figures himself. And I would praise him and give him the high fives to celebrate his little wins in gaining control of more complicated media like watercolor and acrylic, aside from his favored oil pastels. So, in being home, even prior to the art journaling, he was already given a special award there in painting, drawing, and running. So he was really been encouraged by his teacher, Ma'am Tata Iniguez, at that time. And you could also see, maybe we have the picture of, yes, and that's teacher, Ma'am Tata, and with his friends in the training center. There was also this period when art journaling helped him process a very sad time. His training center, being home, had to close down due to the lockdown. And when I told him about it, he became quiet and teary eyed as he just sat on a corner of his bed. I thought of drawing the facade of the center and showed it to him, hoping that he would trace it with a pencil pen and finish off the coloring, the teachers' faces waving their goodbyes. Thankfully, he took a few minutes to get going, and then When it was finished, he seemed to have come out of his sadness and agreed to have his picture taken with his smiling eyes, yet but swollen eyes. So through art, we have been gifted to witness when Ruel is happiest and most fulfilled. When he is doing his art, he looks as though he is also deeply meditating. And when he is done, you could see in his photos how happy and proud he is of his achievement. Next photo, please. Yan. These are my happiest moments as well, as I am able to love him and connect with him in a meaningful way. I had a t-shirt once that had Snoopy saying, "To know me is to love me." When I was in grade 4, I went to the school chapel and confronted God. I told him, "My religion teacher said I should love you. But how can I love you when I don't even know you?" In due course, God did answer me, although it took me my whole adult life to realize that his response came by spending time with him in meditation. And that is how I know now how to love him. In the same way, this pandemic afforded me to spend time and to really know my son, for who he is, and most especially for who he is not. I also got to know myself whenever I'm truly present to Ruel, who I have wholly accepted for who he is and who he is not. Now I know that I can be patient and persevering. These virtues I am not really known for, but I have learned to wait for when he would oblige me and choose to work with me. I also know that Ruel doesn't like anything he cannot follow or copy and prefers coloring by numbers anytime to choosing the colors himself. But thankfully, he is slowly building his confidence in drawing and picking up the colors himself. I can truly say that in meditation, to know myself is to know my God. Not only do I get to know myself better, I also learn to love myself better and love God even more and more each day. In the same way, through art, I got to know my son better and love him all the more. So this was the Valentine dancing party with friends from Boundless Possibilities Foundation that they set up. I have this feeling that God prepared me early in life to have Ruel for a son. He gives me my greatest joy and highest good. Through my own experience with meditation and with art, undergoing the discipline and the challenges that come with it, God has allowed me to make tampo, have those tantrums, and experience failure many times. And having said that, He also led me to start anew. In meditation, we will certainly fail every time we try to say our mantra. But the important thing is we go back to saying it every time. There are numerous chances to get back and start from the very beginning. So much like raising exceptional children like Ruel, there is an extra demand on me and his itai and his siblings so that he will thrive and be happy. More often than not, we fail at this. But with God's mercy and grace, we are given numerous chances to make it right by Him. We all end up better versions of ourselves because of Ruel. And when melancholy would hit me hard as I think of Ruel's future, especially when the time would come that Ruben and I are gone, this is when I am so thankful that I set aside time to meditate regularly. For the practice has enabled me to let go of worries, anxious thoughts, sad feelings, and unpleasant images in my mind. I am able to release my regrets and failures of the past so that I can be in the present moment with Ruel. I need simply to entrust his future to God's grace and mercy. I gave, he, God, gave me this sweet, handsome son of mine to love, come hell or high water. Nothing is going to stop me from finding ways to have him live life to the fullest. And so I endeavor not to be anxious about the morrow because, I quote, a leaf does not fall without the will of God, unquote. That's from Psalm 1, verse 3. Happily, because of Ruel's and his friends' differently wired brains, they have created a fresh view of the world through art. It is unadulterated and childlike, unschooled and authentic, pure and innocent. So much so that their art has solicited much interest. Many groups have mounted their online art exhibits, including a physical art installation at the Gateway Mall, and even a Singaporean company named Aesthetics have put their artworks on their clothing. So never did I imagine this future happening right now for Ruel, whom I dared ask God for, even if I already had 4 children. I was unaware that what I was praying for was the child of my heart and soul. So allow me to quote an excerpt from WCCM Spiritual Director, Father Lawrence Freeman. Whatever time and resources are devoted to our spiritual life can only avoid the accusation of selfishness if they serve to bring us closer to the heart of the suffering world. Unless the peace and harmony we find through our spiritual life also give birth to a compassionate union with the suffering of others, it can claim neither reality nor depth. The unselfish fruit of meditation is simply love. So, if there's a goal in our meditation, it is not our own fulfillment. How better to express it than to say that it enables us to find happiness, not by selfishly seeking it, but by relieving the suffering of others. Now that's Eo's rendition in 2020 at the start of his art journaling. And so in closing, when a group of Ateneo medical students interviewed me recently as the primary caregiver of Ruel, I told them that unless I see myself as the other person, in this case as my own son, where his disability is my disability, and his sadness is my sadness, his pain is my pain, how can I ever see myself as loving and relieving others who are suffering too? So this is where I invite you all to simply love. That's Ruel now. Just recently, that's a recent artwork of his. And so in doing, when you simply love, you find your own happiness through being mindful of the other. So let's begin a meditation practice. And let's express ourselves in our own unique voice to the world, as Ruel happily expresses his heart and his soul through his art. Thank you all for listening. You have made my day extraordinary. End of sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayang. That was so beautiful. So I'm practically speechless. You have so beautifully put together what you've learned in school, handling persons with disability, dealing with them, and what you've learned with Christian meditation, how to love, just love, leaving the ego behind, just giving, not necessarily always taking. Mayang, is it possible for you to show or allow Ruel to say hi to us?
Sure, sure.
Very nice.
Let me just remove my how do you say, my background filters. Ruel, come show yourself. Say hello to them. There's Ruel.
Come
There's
here.
Ruel. He just woke up. Come here.
Hi,
There.
Ruel.
There. Hello.
Hi,
Say,
Ruel.
say. We'll say hello.
Hello.
Diba? Bagong gising siya. There, say hi. Hi.
Hi, Ruel.
Hi, Ayo.
Tingnan mo, tumaba siya during this pandemic. So talagang kailangan mag-reduce na, di ba? Pero he's already losing weight because we're always cooking vegan food. So there.
Good.
You have
Yeah.
lovely paintings, Ruel. Your
Oh,
paintings are
there. There's Tita Auntie. Hello.
Well, I will own one of
There's
your
Teacher
paintings.
Amos pala. I see Teacher Amos. You see? Yan. Kinuha na yung
Amos is
cellphone ko.
Teacher.
There, Teacher Amos. Take a
I
bow.
Hi, Ruel.
Congratulations.
Oo. Si Ruel, kinuha na yung cellphone ko, kaya umalis na ng kwarto. Iniintay lang yung cellphone ko. So thank you. And now you can also interview Teacher Amos, you know. So what he did is astounding talaga. So I'm so proud of him. And I'm so grateful to him, really. It takes a village to raise a child. So what more to raise a special child? It really takes a whole nation, I think. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
we are open now for anyone to ask questions from Mayang, how she did it in detail, and or to simply give a little feedback, your own reflection on what happened today. I will put the video on gallery so I can see if your hands are raised, or simply just speak up. Mayang, may I be the first?
Oh, sige.
Your family, right? You've got your husband and your children. And when Ruel, having Ruel as part of the family, especially when there are meltdowns, that's really, it's really, really
Terrible.
trying. How
Yes.
did this impact your relationship with your other children, and most
Yeah.
especially your husband?
Well, so let me say that they've always been very supportive. But yung si Bolo is not really handling it very well kasi masyado siyang na-i-impact doon sa meltdown ni Ruel. Minsan naiiyak na lang siya talaga because he couldn't, restrain him. But see with Dino, my eldest, who's with the Bloomfields, by the way, he's a singer and a band member. I really knows how to do that. He's the eldest, so he's able to anticipate. He's so mindful. Alam mo, baby, it's because he also meditates and he does yoga. He has a certification now that he can teach. So and he knows that whenever we would feel agitated ourselves and we are angry with him because he has a tantrum, he explains to us that, look, you're escalating his feelings. So mas nagagalit siya, mas na-frustrate siya when you don't also hold back your anger and your frustration, your anxieties. So he really is a teacher also, and reminds me of this. So it's really a blessing, no? And well, two of them are already out of the house, so it's just Tala and Bolo and me, and thankfully also I have a support system in my older brother, who knows how to handle him kasi he's been journeying with him with his running, especially during the pre-pandemic period. So I have my yaya who was with him since he was 4 months old. So sumusunod siya. So thankfully, meron talagang support system.
Thanks, Mayang. That's beautiful. Now, would you like to respond to my second inquiry? How about your relationship with Ruben?
So, we sometimes have differences in dealing with Ayo. He's more of the spoiler. Pag nagtatantrum yan or what, o anong gusto mo, bili tayo ng McDonald's. Pagkain yung kanyang love language. Service. Ako kasi my love language is quality time. So in a way, naswak yun. And with special children, ang mga primary love language nila is quality time and words of affirmation. Tapos later on when they learn to do things themselves, yung acts of service, they'd love to give you acts of service. But it's really quality time that is foremost kasi kailangan nila talaga ng attention. And love is attention. So for me, love is being there, being present. Ayun, may I, si Josephine has a question. He raised his hand. Joe is the president of Boundless Possibilities, or the chairman, I would say. So, Josephine, yes, what's your question?
Yeah, I have a question for my co-parent. Mayang we have a monthly kumustahan in our group. It started during the pandemic. And siya nagpapacilitate ng aming mga problema, mga challenges, and mga away. Kaya if it were not for Mayang, siya nang holding the group together. Anyway, my question is, having a child also with autism, who is the same age as Ruel, 1 year older. My son is Marcus and he's 1 year older than Ruel.
Pakita mo naman si Marcus nandyan.
Can you Maki? Ang problema ko, ako nga myself, nahihirapan ako mag-meditate. Ang tanong ko sa'yo, si Ruel ba is meditating with you? Kasi I myself, I find it hard to meditate. Siguro I can meditate for 5 minutes, pero with you guys, you're meditating like 1 hour ba kayo?
Hindi, 20 minutes lang naman. At saka sa umpisa lang naman, pwedeng 5 minutes eh. Si Dino, nag-umpisa yan less than 5 minutes. Pero ngayon, he's proud that he's able to meditate for 30 minutes. Yan, hi, Maki!
Hi!
Hi! Ay, nako, ayan si Maki has been playing the piano and has been abroad playing Internationally na. Oh,
Tita.
yan.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Thank you for
musician
that.
he is.
Kasi with them, yung utak nila, it's like, it's like, kumbaga sa kotse, 120 RPM ang revolutions per minute. So kung ano-anong naiisip nila at kung ano-anong na-associate nila dun sa iniisip nila na way goes back years back. Tapos napoprocess nila yung mga bagay na nagawa nila like days ago. So teaching them how to meditate. Ano ba yung technique or yung strategy para makapag-start kahit na 1 minute lang, because
Yes.
siguro 1 minute meditation is an achievement na for them.
Oh. Maybe Rizal can answer that. Can I ask Rizal to unmute? Nandiyan ka ba, Rizal? Kasi si Rizal is teaching children how to meditate. Pero JM, baka ikaw Actually, ganito.
Brenda is with us. Let's invite Brenda.
Brenda,
I answered
ka.
that.
Oh, there. Sige. Can you focus on Rizal? Sandali, hindi ko siya makita eh.
Where is, sige, Alpine.
Rizal,
Alpine.
ang tanong. Hello.
Wait, Alpine.
Yeah. Si
Brenda
So-
is pinned. I'll also pin you.
alam mo, just so to habang pinipin, minsan importante din na naririnig namin silang nagsasabi ng Maranatha. So pinapa-verbalize namin dahil kasi nga hindi nga sila mahilig magsalita. I mean, especially my son. So at the start, sinasabi ko, you say Maranatha. So gumagawa siya doon. And then nakaka 5 minutes din naman, and then suddenly nawawala. But para sa akin, okay na yun. And then when I'm meditating in his room, he is quiet. So nakakonect siya sa akin. Kasi otherwise, nagtatatalon yan at kung ano-anong ginagawa. So, and unfortunately, not right now, I'm not able to meditate with him. Kasi, sa pandemic, ang daming ginagawa. Pero yung art niya, that's our meditation time, really. So I intend to give him back his, siguro thank you for reminding, no? Kasi hindi ko masyadong nagagawa yan ngayon. Kasi sometimes our artwork would last for 4 or 5 hours, way into the night. So yun, hindi ganon kadali. It's very collaborative, the work that we do. And so is meditation, hindi ba? So you collaborate with God there, and you listen to him. So it's the same way that I listen to Ruel, quote unquote, hindi ba? When he is in doing his art. Did I answer your question? Rizal, gusto mo mag-add?
Yeah. Rizal or Brenda? Go ahead.
Or Brenda. Si Brenda, ang galing-galing magturo kay Julia eh. Julia has, that's their child. Julia. Nasaan si Julia? Ayan.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Brenda.
Brenda, sorry hindi maano yung camera.
Okay lang.
Yeah, actually we've been, Julia, natuto siya mag-meditate since she was 8 years old. Hindi naman actually niya nasasabi yung, alam niya the word Maranatha, pero siguro every time we meditate for 20 minutes, it's just quiet. And I taught her meditation. Sabi ko lang sa kanya just to be still, no? Tignan mo lang ako. Tapos yun, nakaupo lang siya, tapos nag-a-alarm kami ng 20 minutes, and she's really still, no? Pero pag sinasabi ko sa kanya, sabihin niya yung word ng Maranatha, she can say it talaga.
So yun, tiyaga lang, patience and perseverance. Those are, as I said, the 2 virtues na wala ako. Pero nade-develop sa akin.
Pero
So yun ang
kailangan mo
Yeah.
talaga ng patience kasi
Brenda?
no, ma'am,
When you were
parang nasa
starting,
radyo, no?
when when you were starting off with Julia and Reach, were they immediately still for 20 minutes? Or what did you do initially?
Ay, hindi po. Kasi nagsimula po si Rich when he was 4 years old. Si Julia 8. When I introduced meditation with them, nag-start po muna kami ng 1 minute. And hindi ko muna sila pinatahimik. Sinabi ko sa kanila to recite Mara na sa ng paulit-ulit po for 1 minute na naririnig ko. Nung nasanay po sila siguro ng 1 month na si Rich naririnig niya yung salitang Maranatha, I ask him not to say the word anymore. Sabihin na lang niya ng tahimik sa brain lang niya, na naririnig lang niya sa sarili niya. So nung mga medyo tumagal na po, nung 4 years old na nga siya noon, after 2 months, nag-start kami ng 4 minutes. Then naging 5 siya, so 5 minutes. The more na nag-i-increase po yung age nila, every minute po yung minutes po yung dinadagdag ko. And just last week, sabi niya, Mama, I'm turning 11 next year, so 11 minutes na pala ako magme-meditate. So, monitor niya. Tapos nung magte-10 siya noon, sabi niya, kinakabahan ako, 10 minutes na ako magme-meditate. Sabi ko, okay lang yon kasi the more na humahaba, the more yung time mo with Jesus, sabi ko. And then now, he's like preparing himself for 11 minutes na kasi, kanina po pala, naka 20 minutes siya.
Wow!
20 minutes. And Julie also, she's just quiet sitting sa bed. Kaya walang ingay talaga pag meditation, quiet lang talaga. Although si Julia cannot close her eyes, marami pa rin siyang gumagalaw yung kamay, gano'n. Hindi naman talaga still, pero quiet.
Yan. Napakaswerteng mga bata, no? Ang aga pa, marunong na mag-meditate.
So, may po, maraming na-observe ako kay Rich. May focus, yung patience din niya, nag-i-increase, ganun po.
Salamat.
Thanks, Brenda. I
Thank you
see
po.
Suklad raising her hand. Stay on, Brenda. Maybe Au's question might be the same. Go ahead, Au.
JM, it's not a question. Good morning, Mayang.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Mayang, thank you so much. You're glowing talaga.
Kasi naman yung lighting, no?
No, you're glowing talaga.
Thank you.
But yes, you mentioned 2 things that
Yeah.
Ruel needs.
Oo.
Quality time
Yes.
and the affirmative words and gestures.
Mhm.
And that he draws out patience and perseverance in you.
In everyone in the house.
Yes, and
Too.
everyone in the house. And so you, with Ruel, you are becoming a person with a boundless love in your heart. And it just strikes me that this kind of loving that you give Ruel is probably what every parent, every grandparent, everyone who relates with children, that's how everyone should relate with children. Children don't have to be a special child for somebody to love the child.
Yes, truly.
Each child is a special child in their own right,
True.
because each one is unique. And therefore, this love that you are giving and everyone around is giving, the quality time, the affirmative words and gestures, the patience and perseverance is for everyone. For everyone.
Yes.
I think this is my take home as a grandmother. And even to my adult children, they're still kids.
Yes.
They still have their kid ways. And thank you, Mayang. Thank
Thank you
and
too.
Ren and Rizal for being really the prophets and the witnesses before us. We learn so much
Salamat.
from you. Thank you for
Salamat
sharing.
din. Salamat din. Ay, JM, mute ka. Unmute yourself, JM.
Sorry, excited.
Okay.
Mary Rose has her hand, and then
Hi,
Sister
Mary
Amber.
Rose.
So go
Hi.
ahead, Mary Rose.
Oh,
Then Sister
nice.
Amber.
Hi,
Hi,
good
nice to see
morning.
you.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for sharing Ruel's story. As I sent you a message right now,
You
and
did.
and I just would like to thank you for sharing Ruel's story because it gives me so much hope for Kokoy, my other son with NDD. Okay, because they have similarities. They have similarities pala. Okay, redundant na ako, no? They have similarities. But yes, I would like to take on what you just said, that everything comes with a purpose. And it all revealed itself to me during this pandemic. First, may I start with Teacher Amos? Okay. I didn't know that, of course, it was one of Jackie's teachers who connected me to him. And I'm so happy right now that we are connected. I didn't know our connections were many years, span many years, much like as our connections were, Mayang.
Yeah.
I mean, I took your picture many years ago,
True.
and then I see
Yeah.
you again here.
Yeah.
Diba? Parang, who would have thought? The same thing with Teacher Amos. I didn't know that I have one of his artworks with me na pala for many years. Tapos nun, because of our connection, our common connection, which was my sister, who's also another artist. And then coincidentally, Teacher Amos was also the professor of my other daughter, Lucy, for 3 semesters. Who would have thought, diba? So when on Jackie's first class in creative journaling, and then my daughter, Lucy, heard the name Amos, she peeked in our Zoom class and said, "Oh my, it's my teacher." And then she ran away. "Oh, don't tell him I'm here." But it was a funny incident. But yes, parang everything comes for a purpose. And like you, it took the pandemic to realize all these connections. And it took me, it was the time for me to be able to reconnect with Jackie and Kokoy. Like you, I depended on so many other people. Their teachers, therapists, their yayas to take care of them. And it was only now during this pandemic that I was able to connect with them again, to be quiet with them, to spend time with them. Kahit na pa konti-konti. And I thank God for giving me this time. Well, it started last year to make up for yes, like you, the 20 years that was lost because I didn't have time to share with them. So, yes, parang like you, pakonti-konti. It may not be the 24 hours that we would like to spend with them. Like you, it may be the time that you spend art with Ruel.
Yeah.
With
Kakapagod din, ha?
Oo. With me, I leave Jackie because ayaw niyang makialam ako. But it's time spent baking with her, and then with Kokoy, time spent signing with him and also coloring with him. Konti-konti lang, pero at least nandun yung connections. And actually, it's also when there is a question about how it affected the family. At first, I was uh, I was known as the enabler because I was too understanding to a fault also for Kokoy and Jackie. Uh, and the others were all the bad cops. That would be my husband, Roy, and my three other kids. But then, of course, I'm just so happy that with much prayer, uh, things are calmer now, and there is better understanding also with who they are and what they can do. And ako rin, parang there is also a balance of being a good cop and a bad cop because of them. I see the balance that is also needed to care for them. So yun, that's the joy of the pandemic. That's
Well,
the
thank
blessing
you
of the
for
pandemic
sharing, Mary
also.
Rose. I really appreciate that. I love your sharing. Thanks.
Thank you, Mary Rose. I see Teacher Amos raised his hand. Perhaps Teacher Amos can come in, and then Joe Palomares too, no? So,
Yeah.
teacher?
Yes, thank you very much, Riem. And first, on behalf of Inclusive Arts Initiative, which is the platform of artists, reaching out and helping, of course, art become more accessible and inclusive. Congratulations, Mami Mayang. Congratulations, WCCM. And of course, also the Boundless Possibilities Foundation, where I'm also a part of, for celebrating art, celebrating love, and celebrating, of course, wisdom. Maybe I would like to share a short observation and also ask Mami Mayang something that I'd like to na matagal ko na gusto itanong sa kanya, and it is my chance. First, maybe in terms of the intersection of the arts experience and the meditation. I think that meditative quality po talaga of the arts is really very powerful. No, in a sense that the creative engagement po kasi actually highlights what we call a creative flow. And a flow is actually a state wherein you feel absorbed, you feel engaged in the creative process, wherein you increase your attention, you increase actually your relationship with the art making itself and the artwork that will be finished. And I think that is as a song with Sean McNiff, who I saw that Mami Mayang quoted, no, the meditative quality aspect of the arts can actually help you in so many ways, more than just actually doing the art itself, but discovering yourself through the process and emptying your mind and everything. And I hope that this thing, no, will be explored further. There's actually a science to that, but I do believe that it's not just about science, but it's really about, of course, believing in yourself as a in your creativity, in your flow, in yourself as you do the art. No? And that's where I will segue it to Mami Mayang, because I know she's also an artist. She's a creative, no, just like Roel. My question is, how does Roel the artist influence you as an artist too? And what are the points where you intersect in this creative collaboration?
You know, nakakatuwa kasi sometimes you want your will. Hindi ba? Gusto mo, ikaw yung magdidikta. O sige, itong gawin mo, itong gawin mo. But at the same time, alam mo naman that gusto mo yung bata to be independent kasi highly supervised eh. Gusto niya, sabihin mo sa kanya para gagawin niya. Eh ayoko yun, di ba? So kailangan, ini-encourage mo siya na siya pumili ng colors, siya mag-drawing, at lahat. So talagang there is a tension na my will from his will na very compliant, pero gusto mong i-develop yung will niya na ito yung gusto ko. Like the latest art na ginawa niya, bigla na lang siyang nag-draw doon na walang from nowhere, and I was so happy. But at the same time, iniisip ko, naku, paano ko gagawin? Lalagay yung mga figures na palalagay sa kanya dahil ang dami na niyang pinagsusulat doon. So it is again a surrendering of one's will to the will of the artist. Kasi guided ka lang parang shadow teacher ka lang na ikaw, you're just there at the back supporting. And ang hirap talaga kasi 'di ba meron na akong mga gagawin na sige itong paggagawa ko sa kanya, but at the same time sometimes yung pinapagawa ko sa kanya hindi naman niya gustong gawin, 'di ba? So it is really I wouldn't say a battle, but then a collaboration nga. It's highly collaborative, especially if the child cannot talk so much. Pero nakikita mo na nagde-develop talaga, he's blossoming. And I did not know how to connect with him before. Siguro that was part of the disconnecting Kasi hindi ko alam kung paano, na-frustrate ako. I was being nahihirapan ako. And ganun na rin sa meditation. Kaya siguro in the 28 years, I counted 28 years. Half of that year, hindi ko talaga pinansin ang meditation. Talagang nag-disconnect din ako. Ay, ako, ang hirap talaga. Ang hirap. Pero now, when I went back, sabi nga ni Father Lawrence Freeman, sometimes we have to experience that para we can appreciate the connection a lot more now. So yun, ganun din sa mga anak namin. You know, aside from Mary Rose, hindi nyo natatanong kasi that my eldest is gifted and talented. 154 ang IQ niyan. Okay? Tapos my second has sensory perception integration difficulties. My third has spelling and reading dyslexia. My fourth has what you call Cibolo, has output difficulties. Kasi mas gusto niya magsalita kaysa magsulat. Yun, nahihirapan siya. She can scratch. So those things I had to discover when I learned, and I sought talaga. So to learn more about my children, how to develop them. So it's a journey. Mahirap pero nakakatuwa, hindi ba? God always gives us what we can handle, and He gives us our greatest joy and highest good. Yun lang. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariah. Maybe ang takeaway ko lang po na from this very beautiful sharing that you had is that that's the beauty of the relationship po, no? And thank you for allowing art to play a role in that relationship building between you and your children. And of course, maybe me as a facilitator, no, as the art teacher, actually po, talagang when I see them, because they're around 18 to 20 attending every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'm seeing actually talaga yung parents and the artists having a very great relationship happening on the spot. So thank you po to the parents, of course, for supporting your very gifted children.
Thank you. Thank you, Teacher Amos, and thank you to you. Alam mo, this wouldn't have happened if you weren't there supporting us all the time.
Thank you so much.
Salamat.
It's God's providence po.
Thank you. Thank you, Teacher Amos. Mayang, we have Steve Yasek from Australia. Steve?
Hi, Steve. Where are you?
Hi. Here, I'm sorry. Hi, Mayang. My internet's very slow today.
All right.
I just wanted to say, such an inspirational talk. Thank you. I'm sure it took a lot to share such things, but I also, just quickly to say, I have a special nephew, and also my youngest granddaughter is a very special person as well. And in witnessing how their parents, first, of course, I guess at the birth, kind of grieved not having this perfect child, as everybody expects you'll come home and say, oh, I have a perfect child, intellectually, physically. But then to see how it created a whole new person out of them and out of their friends and family, it was amazing to see what a gift these special people are.
Yes.
Anyway, I won't go on, but I just finally wanted to share something that my nephew, my special nephew, said. He's in his late 30s now, and he has Down syndrome. And this is before the pandemic, but I was with him, and he had a friend come, and his friend, in the nicest way, and meant it to be very nice and helpful, said, maybe one day they'll come up with a drug his name, my nephew's name is Travis. And his friend said, maybe Travis, one day they'll come up with a special treatment or drug that will cure you of your Down syndrome. And Travis, my nephew, says, but I like my Down syndrome. It's who I am.
Wonderful.
Thank you very
Beautiful.
much.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Nice to hear from you. Steve is from Australia, by the way.
We still have time for one more possible share or points for clarification.
Yeah. Before that, Jam, may I just invite them to check out the link. See Teacher Amos and Sasa Garcia worked on that virtual exhibit of Ruel. And do we have it here, Teacher Amos? Can you send it through the chat group? So you could see some of the works of Ruel. It's really a far cry from the first few, artworks he did, and most of it talaga na I think the collaboration was more 50-50. Like I would pencil in and he would trace and he would color. But right now it would probably be an 80-20 collaboration. 20 lang ang input ko, 80 is his. So thank you for that.
Is there anybody else? Kathy and June Chum, kindly go ahead.
Hi, Kathy. Kathy is the one that I showed the picture with Ruel drawing the koi fish. Hi, Kathy.
Good morning. Good morning, my friend.
Yeah, before anything else, notice her background. That is the artwork of Vico Cham, her son. So proud of him. Yes.
I just like to commend you for the beautiful sharing that you made, no? And really, it takes a lot of courage for a special mom, no, to share their journey, no, and you speak in behalf of all of us. Actually, we all went through the same challenges, no. With Vico, it was really the early stage that I really had to take on the challenge, no, and I'm really happy that you and Ayo has you've been connecting together with the arts, no, and I've been watching and observing Ayo and his works, no, from the very start, and I saw a lot of improvement, and more than anything else, I'm very happy with the collaboration that you do with your son, and I'm sure, and I'm so sure that Ayo eventually will be doing and will be expressing himself on his own.
Oh, wonderful.
It only takes really, a push and, and love of a parent, no, to, harness and hone them, no, eventually. I know it will work, and I'm really hopeful that AO1 would be making his own name really as an artist, no, and I cannot just I say much anymore, because I know you're very happy, and most of all, I see Ayo really happy. Every time you post the pictures, you would see my comment would be, oh, he's such a beautiful smile, and I can see the happiness in him when he shows off his work. So again, I would like to congratulate you personally for this beautiful sharing that you made. And it will truly inspire a lot of parents, no, to do the same thing. And nothing is impossible with the Lord, you know. Uh,
Yes.
it's simply just submitting to His will. We all accepted
Exactly.
we all accepted our
Our
children
children.
gifts, no, and be thankful that God gave them to us, because we are the perfect parents for them. No? So I affirm everything that you have said earlier, and it's I hope other parents, we should show this. We should have a replay of this one to other parents, because it's really something beautiful for them to, you know, keep in their hearts also. Again, personally, I'd like to congratulate you for being such a very strong and courageous mom. Yun lang. God bless
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for affirming me, Kathy. Love you.
Love you, dear.
Tamayan, kumusta ka na?
Mabuti, Frederick.
Ay,
Ito
ilang
naman
taon
si
ka na
Frederick
nung
from
birthday?
the...
Ilang taon na si Tita Mayang? Anong birthday
Ay,
at
dako,
birthday mo?
63. O yan. So that's
Si Ruben,
Frederick.
anong birthday niya?
Ano, yung birthday ni Ruel?
Tito Ruben?
Tito Ruben. O, pareho kaming edad. Ayan, si
Anong
Frederick is
birthday?
one of their barkadas, but now he's in the States. So thank you for coming.
Anong birthday at birth year mo, Tita Mayang, Tito Ruben?
Okay. Si June
Susulat
10,
mo,
1950. Oy, susulat ko sa'yo, ha?
Sige.
Sige. Salamat. Nakakatuwa, no? Nakakatuwa. Ayun. JM.
Thank you so much. My heart is so full, Mayang. I'm so happy you agreed to do this for us. And maybe it might please your heart to know that we had a high of 62 participants today.
Thank you.
Maybe it could have been more if there were not a glitch in the link.
The link.
Provided. Somehow they were able to catch up. Many of them catch up. Now, I am also happy to note that through your witnessing, you have encouraged the parents to consider the practice of meditation, not to give up. The same
Yeah.
way you never gave up on your son, never give up on linking up with God. And our way of linking is the practice of meditation. Thank you, Mayang.
Maraming salamat
More
din.
we want to see you more.
Yeah, well.
By the way, to your friend who asked if who said maybe this should be replayed, these proceedings have been recorded or is being live streamed right now on YouTube. Just simply go to WCCM CDSSS Philippines. Mayang will provide you the exact YouTube channel, and it's there for posterity for as long
Wow.
for as long as YouTube allows us that airtime or internet time. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayang. Now we are going back to prayer. Not that what we had is not prayer, but something more quiet and silent. And before that, I just would like to take the opportunity to make a couple of announcements. Okay. Where did my, okay. So first and foremost, you might want to take note of this, Teacher Amos's invitation.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to have more of the artworks of Ruel, it's there. And if you want to get a little more contact with Teacher Amos, just copy Inclusive Arts Initiative, one word, .com.
Yeah, and may I add lang, JM,
Yes.
na in that in www.inclusiveartsinitiative.com is
Right.
also the collaboration of about 10 to 20 artists. So you could see Ayo's artwork together with the others na nakakatuwa talaga. You'd love it. So explore that.
All right. All right. I thought you would want to give a cell number or something. No.
Well, sa akin na lang para I can pass on. Total, yeah.
Please dictate so they can copy.
Okay. Teacher Amos, can you please dictate? Teacher Amos, can you please dictate the inclusive? Okay, sige, sa akin na lang. 0920-947 3724. Sorry, 947-3724.
All right, just a while.
Nagdoble yung 47 mo. Oo. Yan, 24. 24. Yes.
All right, so take a while to get this together for you guys. And I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our prayer leaders, primarily our Shantus, Didi, followed by Mayet. Amy also, who gave a lovely introduction to Mayang. Mai, Rhoda, and Monica will be closing with other prayers. We also would like to invite parents, all parents with children, to participate in our monthly Christian meditation with them. It's called Kindle, and the theme is Upong Tigil na Tigil, sit still. This is a monthly engagement when we try to share with children ages 6 to 12 or grades 1 to 6 the practice of meditation in their own terms. Okay, we do not ask them to do 20 minutes, but as Brenda shared, maximum 1 minute per age or year.
Question,
Yes.
JM, sorry. Pwede ba ito sa mga children with NDD, especially if they're above those age, like si Maki and all the rest?
If they can follow instructions.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Basically, that's how we start with meditation with children. No matter what the age level is, if they can follow instructions, then we do it. Okay, so far today, our activities really lend itself to what on norm would be activities of children 6 to 12, their developmental stage then. So if you are interested to participate, get in touch with anyone in the group. That's Rizal Pinlac is our overall host. Cora Padua, she is our storyteller. By the way, this is in Filipino. We try to encourage using our own language. Then our song master or song mistress is Didi Olaguer, supporting the group in terms of technical and behind the scenes activities are Lizzie, Antibas Hernandez, Tess Naval, Tess Perez, Dulce, and myself. It's every second Saturdays, 9 in the morning to 9:30. Then we also would like oblates, not oblates, but the oblates of WCCM Philippines would like to invite those who are curious, what do oblates do when they are in session? We have once a month, every second Saturday at 5 p.m. up to 6:30 p.m. Some activities that may enhance your practice of meditation. And then, of course, next month, for our contemplative day, which is CDSS in short, we have Maria Victoria Padua Baluyot. She's special because she's giving honor to Mother Mary. It's her birth month on the month of September. And more important, Marivic has been a recipient of a Marian miracle. And you can hear about this. She has kept this to herself all these years. But this time she says it's time to share. So come and join. So it is true. It happens. Mama Mary can reach out to you. So there it is. That's how we go. And finally, for everyone to know, those with some health issues, Gilbert Umiak Chow, who is a natural healing proponent, is happy to sit with you over the next hour at the end of our session, the CDSS, and hear you out and help you see how to help yourself heal. So don't sign out, stay with us. And if you want to tune in with Gilbert, stay on this link. So let's go back to prayers. May we request Al Suklat to help us, please. Al, are you there, Al?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, JM. In our sit that will follow, we will be offering this as a meditation intercession. And why do we do this? Because at this present moment, our Lord Jesus Christ is before the Father, interceding for all of creation and for all of humanity, living and departed. As the holy nation and royal priesthood of God, we stand with our Lord Jesus Christ, one with him in his prayer to the Father. In the silence and stillness of our meditation, we let Jesus pray in us. This prayer is already being held every day at 5:30 in the morning and every Thursday at 8 o'clock to 8:25 in the evening. If you're interested to join, you could message JM or myself on Messenger. So also, Mayang already mentioned a while ago, quoting from Father Lawrence, that our meditation ought to lead us to develop and practice compassion, especially for the suffering. So this period of complete stillness and silence is offered in union with all of suffering humanity and creation. For this period that we're going to have, this meditation, we will be offering it for the following intentions. For the healing and protection of all with health challenges, including all with COVID-19 and their caregivers. For the protection of all students and teachers, online workers from debilitating effects of exposure to radioactive rays of the internet. For the health, safety, and well-being of all mankind. And for the health, healing, well-being, and special intentions of the following: Emerenciana Paredes, Abigail Murillo, Ia Hermogenes, Connie Imperial Co, Ruben Pascual, Beth Romualdez, Raul Alejandrino, Aurora Buncio, Carlo Joseph Reyes, Leticia Nicolas, Angie Presa, Mito Santisteban, Ruel Pascual, Julia Pinlac, Louis Mata, Chamela Bautista, Catalina Nicolas, Erna Melzer, Catherine and Otto Radvansky, Jane Dennison, Almira Azul, Connie Daliling, Belen Evangelina, Dena Gazmen, Diosdado Saviliano, Carmela Amor Padua, Felimon, Lolit Abanyo and family, Nanay Pilar Panganiban, Adrian Panganiban, Carmelita Franco, Jorge Salazar, Teresita Taganahan, Marge Ambik, Kennard Titiwa, George Naval, Truel, Grace Barrios, Tess Franco, Luis and Andrea, Margie and John Roy de Castro, Jerry Galletes, Jessica Romero, Arsenia Bunoan, Father Martin Tobin and staff, Michelle, Jared, and Antonia. For these intentions, we are going to sit in stillness and silence.
Kindly sit upright, feet flat on the floor, eyes gently closed. And just be aware of your body, aware of your breathing, and with a grateful heart, begin to pray Maranatha silently, repeatedly, syllabically, leaving all thoughts behind, leaving all feelings behind. Just coming into full attention to your prayer word that will bring you into stillness and silence before God.
Attention is how we are meant to live all the time. Jesus invited us to follow him, to direct our attention to what he is absorbed in. To pay attention to one thing, we have to take the spotlight of ourselves. This is both the simplest and the most difficult thing in the world. Yet, once we taste it and get the hang of it, it is the only thing worth doing. Loving others becomes not so much of a duty, but a default setting that we are hardly aware of doing. From a Simple Way by Lawrence Freeman.
A reading from Philippians chapter 2, verse 4. Do not merely look out for your own personal interests, but also for the interests of others. Philippians chapter 2, verse 4. Do not merely look out for your own personal interests, but also for the interests of others.
Proverbs chapter 4, verse 1. Give attention that you may gain understanding. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 1. Give attention that you may gain understanding.
When we sing to God in heaven, we shall find such harmony. Born of all we've known together, of Christ's love and agony. I will weep when you are weeping. When you laugh, I'll laugh with you. I will share your joy and sorrow till we've seen this journey through. Will you let me be your servant? Let me be as Christ to you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant too. Will you let me be your servant? Let me be as Christ to you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant too.
Salamat po sa inyong lahat. Salamat po sa inyong pagdalo. Salamat sa ating prayer leaders at higit na lahat, salamat kay Mayang at sa lahat ng nagbahagi ng kanilang sariling reflection o karanasan. See you next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next first Saturday. Get in touch with us if you want to be able to develop the meditation habit. We'll be happy to orient you and bring you into the practice. Amen. Yung gusto pong sumali sa session right after this with Mr. Gilbert Umachao, aming Christian meditation practitioner from Dumaguete City, just hang on and we will start immediately. We'll immediately after a 3-minute bio break. Okay, Gilbert, I'll give you the mic. Maybe you can come on view.
Good morning. Good morning,
Jem.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Gilbert.
Maybe we'll get a break first, no? For everyone.
A 3-minute bio break.
Sige.
Will you let me be your servant? Let me be as Christ to you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant too. We are pilgrims on a journey. We are travelers on the road. We are here to help each other walk the mile and bear the load. I will hold the Christ light for you in the nighttime of your fear. I will hold my hand out to you, speak the peace you long to hear. I will weep when you are weeping, when you laugh, I'll laugh with you. I will share your joy and sorrow till we've seen this journey through. When we sing to God in heaven, we shall find such harmony. Born of all we've known together, of Christ's love and agony. Will you let me be your servant? Let me be as Christ to you. pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant too.
Okay, Gilbert, anytime you're ready.
Okay, good morning, everyone. What we did last time was it's just a freewheeling discussion, and people who like to raise some concerns, and if I may have little experience on your concerns, I'll be very happy to